Like and subscribe right now, or this spider is gonna crawl on your face while you're sleeping. 10 of the scariest and most terrifying videos you can ever watch. Imagine, it's 2 in the morning and you haven't been able to catch up on your sleep. So, you casually decide that it would be best to watch some random videos on the internet and enjoy your time until you're sleepy enough to join the sleep realm. However, a few clicks here and there land you into the weird part of the internet, where random videos pop up that either make no sense or are simply just too terrifying to watch. We've all been there, randomly browsing the internet, consuming video after video until we come across something that finally makes us realize it's about time. We randomly stop the searches and hit the bed. Well, if you are lucky enough to have never been in such a spot, don't worry, we'll bring that side of the internet to you. Let's have a look at some of the most scariest and utterly terrifying videos that will either freak you out or make you lose your sleep for sure. Maybe the most terrifying job on the planet, or just some random video that lives on the internet without any explanation. We've got it all covered. Number 10. Edward Muscair's Pretty Women. It seems difficult to make Roy Orbison's 1964 hit about love and loneliness creepy. But this lip-synced rendition by a withered old man in a cheesy Mr. Rogers sweater manages to do just that. The singer would be unsettling enough with his constant glances towards the camera and his attempts at dancing, but there's a truth behind this video that makes it much, much worse. The man's real name is Edward Muscair, and he's a registered sex offender. As a condition of his parole, he was prohibited from using the internet. After this video went viral, the police took note of his online shimmy-shammying and hauled him back to court. It just goes to show that you really can't tell what lies behind the smiles of some people. The video that gained him more than 3 million views on his YouTube channel was evidence enough to put the 72-year-old back in jail. Before we move on, I've got a challenge for you that will only take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. Leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And boom! 25 years of amazing luck. Try it! It really works. Number 9. The Agamemnon Counterpart. The nonsensical text introduction to this animated abomination serves as a warning. This clip is only 90 seconds long, but it packs plenty of trippy chaos into that short time. After it's all over, all we have are questions. Who's this new friend we just made? Why was he screaming and laughing? And what was on the videotape found in the ruins of a certain blue planet in the year 2571? What's the echoing noise at the beginning? Is it church bells? Searching the internet for Jackson Kovac, the apparent musician and artist, reveals nothing. Some of the character resembles the art style of old G.I. Joe cartoons, but it's impossible to tell which episode. The bizarre frog-like creature and the floating head defy categorization. In the end, searching for answers to this short film is pointless. There appears to be no greater meaning behind it. There's certainly no subliminal message embedded in the frames. Or maybe, it looks so simple, yet it's too complex for us to understand? This must be one of the creepiest things you're going to witness on this list. Number 8. Dining Room, or There Is Nothing. David B. Earl is an artist and filmmaker from Denmark with a steadily growing portfolio. No matter how diverse his style may become, it's likely that he'll be best known for this 1-minute film. Intended to be a loop played indefinitely, it challenges the viewer to an interesting game. See how many loops you can watch without closing it reflexively. According to Earl, when looped, there is no actual beginning or end, and no real sense of where the beginning or end are. There's so much in this video that haunts the viewer, but perhaps the most terrifying aspect of it is the young woman's stare. She seems to be gazing right through us, looking into our souls and finding, well, the title says it all. Try watching it and let us know in the comments below how many loops you were able to get through before you ran out of strength to endure any more. Number 7. The Wyoming Incident. When one thinks of masked hackers, the first thing that comes to their mind is probably Anonymous and their Guy Fawkes disguises. But they are not the first to hide their faces while disrupting the status quo. On the evening of November 22, 1987, 2 local channels in the Chicago area were interrupted by a broadcast signal intrusion orchestrated by a man wearing a Max Headroom mask. In the clip, a poor local newscaster is interrupted by the mysterious message 333 333 333. It claims to have a special presentation in store and that you will see such pretty things. In between similarly vague yet disturbing messages, grayscale faces with a variety of creepy expressions are shown. All throughout, the music that plays is best compared to an NES game soundtrack written by Cthulhu. For the residents of Chicago who watched the clip for an extended period, the video induced several side effects, such as hallucinations, vomiting, and headaches, to list a few. After years of research, it was found that the video plays the music at a frequency between 17 and 19 hertz, and if played for a long enough period of time, it can induce vibrations in the eyes and cause visual hallucinations, among other things. So be careful before you head out to explore this video. Number 6. Baby Laugh-A-Lot Original Commercial. Call it bad marketing or just bad product, this Remco doll was in no way a product any sane parent would want their kids to have. But, well, it is what it is, and it is in no way a peaceful sight. Dolls are a go-to for horror. Maybe it's the uncanny valley effect. Maybe it's seeing a child trapped for eternity in an unchanging state. The Baby Laugh-A-Lot is so mortifying. It's almost a work of art. Her face is permanently smiling, just like she got a face full of the Joker's toxins. Her laugh is shrill and robotic, with no childish warmth. The commercial Remco came up with for this terror toy is certainly no better. The children turn their heads when the doll begins its cackling, and their expressions are of tightly contained mortal fear. One child holds her hand to her mouth to not suppress laughter, or maybe vomit. The announcer can't contain his own laughter, suggesting that the Baby Laugh-A-Lot is some kind of disease that spreads really fast. Number 5. Username 666. In this video, an unseen computer attempts to visit a YouTube channel whose name bears the number of the beast. The account is suspended, but this intrepid internet explorer will not be deterred. Showing all the common sense of your average horror flick teenager, he or she hits refresh over and over and over. Slowly but surely, the text, images, and layout of YouTube start to take on a more sinister tone. Eventually, he or she does come upon the satanic channel. The videos it contains are abstract and horrifying. The images and sounds are disturbing enough, but when the user attempts to escape, the browser refuses to close. While YouTube's layout has changed dramatically since this video's release, its effect is still chilling. It's because the video taps into the fear we all have about the site and the internet in general. The ability to create and share any kind of content we want provides unlimited freedom, but some content, like knowledge, is not for us to know. Number 4. Mass of daddy longlegs in a tree. In Western societies, many people are afflicted with arachnophobia. Arachnophobia is an intense and unreasonable fear of spiders and other arachnids, such as scorpions. Treatment is typically by exposure therapy, where the person is presented with pictures of spiders or the spiders themselves. Whether or not you're one of these unfortunate souls, this video will have you scrambling for the insect repellent. According to the description, the uploader of the video found this cluster of twitching biomass on a tree in Nogales, Arizona. The cameraman runs his finger over a pale, moss-like cluster, and it stirs eerily. Then, he scrapes the group with a twig, and what pours forth will give you a great reason to avoid trees in Nogales, Arizona. Why do we have such a fear of these mostly harmless creatures that are so much smaller than us? One theory is that we've retained it as a defense mechanism from our earlier years, when we rightfully feared their venom. Or maybe it's just all those twitchy legs. Whatever the case, spiders will always remain a big nope in my life. Number 3. Bedfellows, a short film. Well, let me get straight to the point here. Before we begin with this entry, if horror movies scare the living daylights out of you, then you're best off not watching this short film. How short, you might ask? At just over 2 minutes long, this clip will certainly give you nightmares for days, and you won't be able to sleep. Bedfellows, a short film by Drew Daywalt, follows one of the oldest fears of humans, the fear of intimacy. We're afraid to be too close to someone because in that state, we are at our most vulnerable. It doesn't matter if you're a frail weakling or a hulking bodybuilder, a warm embrace can still conceal a knife in the back. The fear of intimacy manifests itself in this video in the form of a question. Do you really know who's sleeping next to you? As it is so often the case with good horror, it's the anticipation of the answer that makes it so nerve-wracking. We can see the face of the bedfellow, but she won't until it's too late. Well, what exactly happens in this scene? A young couple is shown sound asleep in their bedroom in the early hours of the morning when the silence is broken by a cell phone ringing. The wife wakes up looking for her phone and answers the call. To her surprise, she thought she was sleeping next to her husband, but instead, her husband is on the other side of the phone calling her. What happens next? Well, if you're brave enough to find out, go look for this one and see for yourself. Number 2. The Swedish Rhapsody. This clip is quite possibly the freakiest of Number Stations broadcasts. Number stations are shortwave radio stations that broadcast encrypted messages across the globe in the form of creepy music and creepy people repeating strings of numbers in a creepy way. What possible purpose do these stations serve? The system is completely secure because messages can't be tracked. The recipient could be anywhere, says Akin Ferdinands, the creator of Conet Project, a comprehensive archive of the phenomenon of number stations. It is easy. You just send the spies to a country and get them to buy a radio. They know where to tune and when, he says. This track is nightmare-inducing because of the distorted ice cream truck music and the little girl speaking German numbers over and over. It becomes even more sinister when you realize that it's possible this message was used in order to kill someone. So, how about some ice cream? And before we unveil number 1, we would like to thank Samuel Gardner from England for sending us today's thumbnail. Number 1. Stairway to Heaven? Do you hate commuting to your work? We understand that it can be tiring, long, boring, challenging, and even frustrating to deal with all the traffic and the never-ending lines of traffic that follow up. However, what we're about to show you will make you start loving your job. Humans are born with only 2 fears, a fear of loud noises and a fear of falling. So, if you are never able to get over your built-in fear of falling, this will be a nightmare for you. Here, you see 2 guys climbing up a 1,768-foot transmission tower. Yeah, you heard that right. To put things into perspective, this is about the same height as one of the World Trade Centers in New York. The men make their way up the tower in an elevator, and it takes them to 1,600 feet, after which they must climb up several ladders to reach the top of the tower. And they do all of this while having to tow a bag of tools that weighs no less than 30 pounds. There are parts where the man free climbs the ladder, while the narrator tells us this may be dangerous, but it is certainly a faster way of going up. All this time, the narrator, who seems to be talking very calmly about the whole ordeal, jokes about how the last 5 through 6 feet is the trickiest part, where the lead climber must attach himself to the top of the tower, where he is soon joined by his colleague. Would you be able to do this dangerous job? Check out this video and let us know if you have what it takes to be a daredevil working on transmission towers.